You know, it's been 6 weeks since New York's Democratic primaries, and Councilmember Ritchie Torres has just been officially declared the winner of the 15th Congressional District race, and he joins us live this morning. Less than 24 hours since he received word. Congratulations on the nomination. How does it feel?
It has been a long journey, both exciting and exhausting. You know, I never thought as a poor kid from the Bronx that I would become a United States congressman. I never thought while running for Congress that I would contract an infectious disease like COVID. And then I never thought after winning, I would have to wait 6 weeks to find out the results of the election. So it has been quite the roller coaster.
Yeah, 2020 has really done one over on us. But for you, in many ways, it's all good news. So you're going to be one of the youngest candidates to ever run for office in this district. What is top of mind as you start to think about the campaign now?
Look, it is the most democratic district in America, so the primary is essentially the election. So I'm thinking about transitioning, whether it be staffing or committee assignments. You know, for me, the highest priority is the affordability crisis. Americans are struggling with the crushing cost of housing, healthcare, and higher education. In the South Bronx, more than half the residents pay more than half their income toward the rent. And that's before you factor in the bare necessities of life, like healthcare and utilities and food and transportation. So I'm in favor of expanding the Section 8 program so that all Americans in need have access to a housing voucher, which would cap rent at 30% of income. That is my highest priority, is to ensure greater affordability.
Yeah, we hear this a lot from politicians. They want to expand affordability. And I think the key, though, is in the tangible and the effectiveness of what your campaign is going to be pushing for. You also consider yourself an Afro-Latino and have spoken out about someday joining both the Black and Hispanic caucuses in Congress. Tell us why that is important to you especially.
So there's a tradition in Congress that prohibits membership in both the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and the Congressional Black Caucus. So under the traditions of Congress, you can either be Black or Latino, but never both. But in the real world, you can be both. I'm an Afro-Latino, and I should never be forced to choose between these two identities. And the reason it is important is because you want to be in the room where important decisions are made. Right? If the CBC or the CHC are having a discussion, a policy discussion affecting communities of color, I want to see to it that I have a seat at the table, that I have a voice in that discussion for the benefit of my constituents in the South Bronx.
You know, that just gave me chills because as a person of mixed race, as an Asian American, it wasn't until the 2000 census until we were able to say that, because you had to, like you just say, pick one or the other. But you're not one or the other. You are mixed, and so is much of the country these days. So I think it's important that you're trying to have that seat at the table. In the meantime, though, food distribution has been something really important to you. Tell us what are some of the challenges that you're going to be facing on this during the pandemic, but what you're trying to do in this new role as you head toward this run for Congress.
Look, I am out in the field multiple days a week distributing food because food insecurity has risen to a new level in the midst of COVID-19. But you know, once I go to Washington, D.C., I'm going to fight my heart out to ensure that we have greater nutritional assistance for families in need, that local and state governments are receiving more aid from the federal government. But ultimately, the solution is jobs. Like, we have to reinvest in America on the scale of FDR's New Deal so that we're creating jobs, because we address the affordability crisis not only by restricting rent, but by creating income, by creating opportunities for everyday New Yorkers.
I know there's a lot of issues that we could talk with you about today. Running out of time. Congratulations. Got to ask you, now that you know that you're the winner, how are you going to celebrate in this pandemic?
You know, I'm never one to celebrate. I'm just going to get to work and hit the ground running. I know my mother is celebrating. She is my greatest cheerleader, and she's the inspiration behind my political career.
Look at you, so sincere, but your head focused on the road ahead. Ritchie Torres, as always, it's great talking to you. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations again.
Take care.